what do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're thinking.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
But you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't think
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not argumentative.
And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also...
All right, so let's just stop the video right here. We're about halfway through. First thing, she's already doesn't come off good as a candidate. She's being very combative with the interviewer, who is mainly just trying to ask, if you're going to be running for the state, the governor of California, there are going to be some Republicans who you are going to need to win based on how the election right now is going. And she just so against that idea of being like, I have to be somewhat moderate in my messaging, to the point where she's like, well, I don't need them. And then the interviewer's like, oh, so you don't need them? And she's like, well, I've actually won Trump voters, Republican voters. And she's like, well, you just said you didn't need them. And then she just gets so combative, and it doesn't come off good. Like, if I'm from California, if I was voting, I would not be voting for her just based on this temperament. I mean, and a lot of stuff has come out about how she treats her staff and all that, but this just right here is it's not a good look. But we can continue with the clip.
I'll ask the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care.
Follow-ups.
I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation, which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative...
She stops the interview and is like, hey, if you're gonna ask a follow-up question like a good journalist usually does, I'm not gonna continue with this interview, and we're never going to finish this in the way that I want it to be done. Which is like, the journalist from CBS, she's just doing her job, asking tough questions and follow-up questions, which is how interviews are done. It's almost like Katie Porter's never done an interview before. She's acting like if she's never gotten a tough question. But she's like, no, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna stop the show right now. I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna end it. It's not a good look. But yeah, let's continue with the clip.
Had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of I'm me? I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer.
I love how the journalist has to explain what her job is to Katie, who it's blowing my mind. Like, if they think this is some sort of, like, gotcha interview, like, clearly CBS in California is obviously going to be, favorable to Democrats. I don't know why she's being so combative when she's like, hey, I'm just a journalist. I am going to ask a question. I'm going to ask a follow-up question. And I'm going to ask leading questions and even questions about questions I asked 2 minutes ago. But Katie is just not coming off good. Very combative. Very, very, stubborn. It's not a good look. And I'm surprised that a lot of people, this clip has been circulating for the past 24 hours, and it's getting a lot of traction. And you're seeing a lot of these clips about about her coming out being so mean to her staff. She's not nice to people. And in my opinion, you can tell a lot about someone by how they treat people who can't help them. Someone who's mean to the staff, or if you go to a restaurant with a friend and they're rude to the wait staff or a server, that says a lot about them. It means that, okay, once you are not able to help me, I'm going to treat you like trash. And this is really, it's kind of bleeding out. That part of her personality is really bleeding out to this interview right here.
So nearly every legislative
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting is a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just on the responses to that question. And I've asked everybody the same follow-up question.
All right, so that's the clip. Honestly, one of the worst meltdowns I've seen in the past 4 years. If you're going to be a governor of a state, you can't let that happen. You can't just be stubborn. You can't just be combative. You can't be almost cornering the journalists about what they're doing when they're just asking questions. That's a valid thing that journalists do. But yeah, this is not a good look. And I would personally be surprised if Katie, just even if she even wins her primary or even is elected governor of California, this is just not a good look. But yeah, that's my reaction to it. Thanks for y'all, for coming in and joining. Be sure to like, share this video, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video.